All right, guys. So in our final um, example, what we're going to do is some compositing, and we're going to do some effects like lightning. So as you recall, this can be one of your exercises, or you can pick one for extra credit. If you make a compilation of different effects, I will accept that too. But let's get started. So what I have, let me just show, turn the sound off of here, is a video of myself. And this is using that green screen from the back, that's in the back, that I have at home. And I purposely did not iron it so you could see what happens where you get all these shadows and stuff going on, as opposed to having a nice flat colored green screen. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a mask. We're going to make a composition in the background. And we're going to add some effects like me powering up and doing some lightning between my hands. So first I'm going to grab this video. I'm going to drop it in. It's in my movies folder of my project. And I'm going to create a folder and start organizing these. Let's just say movies. And I'm just going to rename this video. Let's rename this Thai. Oops, my green screen. .mpeg4 so that I know. Oh man, my fingers are just acting weird today. Okay, so that's my movie. And I'm just going to make sure that it is in the movies folder. Yay. I'm also going to need an images folder. I'll put images, and we'll just start with this. Okay. So I'm going to take this video, make a composition, and I'm going to call this the Thai green screen. Let's just call this one, you know what? Let's just leave it at that. I could call it mask or something, but this will work fine. So what I want to do is mask out this background. And we're going to do that really quick, doing a few things. So the first thing, as you recall, is I'm going to go in and I'm going to type in key. And what I want to do, hit it with first, is the key light. And we'll drag that onto there. Grab this so we can sample a mid-tone green. So we have something like this. Next, we'll go in and we're going to set this to screen matte. And if you recall, what we're supposed to do is we are supposed to actually go in and basically make it so that I'm whited out and the background is black. Okay, so let's do some tweaks to do that. So let's increase the screen gain just a little bit, maybe right around here. And I'm going to adjust the screen balance a little bit. I don't want it too high. I'll set you to 60 and maybe 10, maybe a little bit higher. Okay. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm getting it, roughly just darkening that out. This I'm not going to need because if you notice that the hands don't go out that far. So what I can actually do is also with this guy selected is crop this down. So I'm just going to crop it so that I don't even have to worry about the sides. So what that basically does is that it just cropped out. I'm not going to try and fidget with an area that's not important. I just want to make sure that I'm getting the area I need, and that'll make life a little bit easier for me. And you know it's masked out because if I create a solid, let's just call this one temp BG for temporary background. And I already have it as like a blue. And I move that to the back, you can see that it's masked out there. So let's go back to our key light and finish tweaking this. I'm going to go to the screen matte. And now under screen matte, I'm going to adjust the black and the white clip. So let's zoom in a little bit so you can see this. So as I increase the black clip, what we should be doing is taking out any, if you notice, any sort of gray that might be in the background. So I'm just pulling this up. I don't want to go too far. Let's say about 25. And now I want to adjust the white, which is going to brighten this, because otherwise these patterns here are going to be showing through as see-through. So I'm going to adjust that maybe a little bit more. Let's look around. There's still some stuff going on around my head, so I need to pull that even further. Let's make it about 50 something. And I'll just kind of zoom back and forth and see if there's any sort of flickering that happens. I want this to be as pure of a white as I can and kind of stay there. That looks good. So let's zoom out a little bit. I think that looks okay. So let's see what it looks like. Go back to final result. And what we see here, that's pretty good. So that looks pretty good. All right, so now we want to clean it up because there's a few things. There's this halo around me. There, some jaggedies, and I just want to make sure that we get a nice clean edge to it. So now we're going to go over to our effects, type in SUPP for suppressor, and I want advanced spill suppressor. Okay, so we're going to grab this guy, drag it on. There it is there. And I'm just going to leave that. What that does is that it stops everything on the outside from, trying to clear up basically any sort of stragglers of things that will be flickering in and out, and kind of tries to tie it into this. Okay. But I still have this little halo and this little weirdness. So what do we do about that? So I want to do a couple of things, because if I kind of pop through, it's not too bad, but we could see that, yeah, there's a little bit of weirdness there. So I'm going to go into here, type in key cleaner, and I'm going to drag that on. Now you notice it added this little extra edge, but we're going to take the key cleaner and move it up so it's above the spill suppressor. And there's a couple of things I want to do with this. So with the key cleaner, I'm going to adjust the contrast a bit. Okay. Turn on reduce chatter. And I want to adjust the radius. I want to bring that down. So let's pull that in about halfway. And another thing I want to do to make sure I get rid of this edge is inside of here, the shrink and grow under key light. Let's shrink that down a little bit. So I'm going to tighten that up by about 2.5 pixels. Okay. Let's see. Got that. We got that. Let's just see where we're at. Okay. And I can still see a little bit of that edge kind of flickering in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the key cleaner even more. Let's drop it down a little bit more. Let's try a 4. contrast up. So let's go back. Let's see, radius, because if I look, so you can see that actually cutting it down that far works. I just want to nudge this guy up. There, that looks better. See? Let's turn the sound off. Let's look at intermediate result. That might be, yeah, that's better. Okay. That looks better. And with that turned on, I'm just going to tweak out just a little bit. Yeah, that's okay. I like intermediate result right there. You can see if I adjust the edge radius, like let's boost that up to about a 4.5. It softens the edge just a little bit so it's not quite as hard. So you'll have to, this you may have to go back in and adjust a little bit depending on your background and your look. But we're just trying to soften it, but we got rid of that little halo, which is awesome. Okay, so now I can shut off my background temp. I don't need it. Okay. And if I want to check and see how well that looks, I can drop an image in the background. So if I go to my project, let's import an image. I'm just going to grab an image real quick. Let's find one. All right, so let's take a background image. I'm just going to drop it into here, put it in my images folder. Put that in the background just so we can see what the edge looks like. And I think that works pretty well. Yay. All right. So I'll just delete out both of these and leave the movie. Well, you know what? I'm going to delete out the image, and I have the background solid turned off, and that's important for what we're going to do next. So this is my green screen composition, and then we're going to make another one that we're going to put together and have it on a back plate.